You look marvelous. And if you get that reference, you get how old we are. And despite that, people are often shocked when they learn our age, but we don't spend a lot of money on personal care. So, continuing with our 2021 Live Fabulously, Not Fabulously Broke campaign, you're listening to Queer Money episode number 259, and we're sharing cost conscious and healthy ways to stay looking and feeling fresh. We make the Queer Money podcast for you. Post your money questions in the Queer Money Facebook group. We may answer your question in an upcoming episode. Now, let's get on with the show.
There's personal finance for the masses. This is not personal finance for the masses. This is Queer Money.
This podcast is sponsored by Capital One. Capital One is redesigning the banking experience by offering simple, straightforward, and seamless ways for you to bank from almost anywhere. So banking fits into your life, not the other way around.
Join our movement to build a community of happier, healthier, and wealthier gay men by getting your free copy of the 5 building blocks of a happy gay life at debtfreeguys.com/happy.
Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Queer Money. As John mentioned in the intro, we are continuing this Live Fabulously, Not Fabulously Broke theme throughout all of 2021. And, the reality is that there's a lot of ways to live fabulously broke. John and I have the experience doing that. And we've shared that so many times on the podcast. Right, exactly. But there's also, when it comes to not living fabulously broke, there's really basically 2 ways to not live fabulously broke. Either you look at your major expenses and you cut those significantly, like selling your house and downsizing to an apartment, or stop leasing cars and buy an old car and continue to own that car, right? You cut some of your big major expenses so that you bring your expenses down. The other way, and the way that we prefer, is to cut a little bit here and there on a lot of your expenses so that really adds up so that you have a lot of extra money when it comes to your budget. And really, that's what most of you, I would figure, want to do, right? Not many of you want to bail on the place that you're living at right now or have to go sell your car. But if you want to live fabulously, not fabulously broke, and you're currently either spending at or above what you normally spend, you probably need to reduce some of your expenses. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how we do that with our personal hygiene and beauty products, I guess you might say.
For our beautiful faces. And the reason why we brought this up is because several studies have shown that LGBTQ people admit to spending a significant, maybe even more than we should, percentage of our income on personal hygiene. It's typically one of the top 3 spending categories for our community. And many of us are going out and getting these like high name brand products, and there's a lot of cost to that. And we don't really spend a lot of money on name brand personal care products. And I think that's maybe one of the ways that we've been able to keep our expenses low and still live quite fabulously. And, like I was saying in the outset, we don't want to be too self-grandizing, but people do tell us that we look good for our age. And in fact, Brian Faldudo, who is the gay kid from School of Rock movie, you might remember, he's actually next week's Queer Money guest, episode 260. And he told us toward the end of that interview that, man, you guys need to share your skincare routine. So, being humble about it, that's exactly what we're doing. And mostly because it works for us. It seems to work for other people. And most importantly, it helps us save a lot of money. This is our personal skincare routine, our personal care routine, and it doesn't hurt our wallet, which is what we think that many of you are looking for.
Right. And, the reality is that when it comes to looking good, when it's your skin, your hair, your body, it's both an inside and outside job, right? What you put on your skin can only do so good if what's coming out of your skin is bad, right?
Yeah.
So we want to talk about some of the things that we do that help balance both what we put in our body and what we put on our body. It's really important to remember that consuming more than necessary amounts of alcohol, smoking, drugs, all of those things do have a negative effect on how your body works. Even things like sugars and salts and processed foods and all of that can have a damaging effect at the cellular level of your body. And a lot of us want to work on the outside because it's sometimes what's easily visible, but what's going on the inside is what's going to really slow down some of the progress we have on making ourselves look younger or feel younger.
And I read somewhere, and I don't know where I read it or who I should give credit to, so I apologize to the author of it, but they said, don't put on your body what you wouldn't put in your mouth. And to me, I thought that was quite profound. Here we are, a lot of these products that we get to help make us look beautiful, we would never think of putting in our mouth. Now, granted, some of the recipes that we're going to talk about today, you probably wouldn't want to put in your mouth. It might upset your stomach a little bit, but you could survive one. It's like the Crocs shoe. Technically, you can eat the Crocs shoe.
Yeah. No.
But nobody's ever going to do that.
Right, exactly.
So here are some quick hits to help look and feel fresh. One, most humans, especially Americans, don't drink enough pure water.
Yes.
Just drink lots and lots of water. We probably walk around with pint glasses of water all day long. And then we switch that out occasionally with some tea and some coffee, but predominantly water. And so if you do one thing from this episode, increase your water intake.
Right.
And for most of us, it's pretty accessible. It's a faucet away. The next couple of hits are, we try to eat fish 2 to 3 times a week. We eat tons of fruits and vegetables. It's the primary staple of our diet. As David mentioned earlier, we avoid processed sugars and flours as much as possible. But as many of you know,
we cheat from time to time.
David can down a bag of popcorn and I can down a pint of Ben & Jerry's like nobody's business. So, we're not angels when it comes to this. But we do try to stick with predominantly fruits and vegetables and avoiding processed flours and sugars as much as possible. We also take a fish oil pill per day. I know there's some controversy about whether or not that it provides value or not. We figure that having one isn't too much, but may provide enough value if we're not actually getting enough of the 2 to 3 fishes per week. And then we are pretty religious with our exercise and meditation. We probably exercise at least 5 days a week. And if we're good, we're also meditating 5 days a week, though sometimes waking up in the morning and going right into meditation doesn't always work out, especially when our schedules are busy.
Right. And, when it comes to exercise, just a side point there, we don't do this so that we have gym god bods, right? I mean, if you've watched
look at us.
Right? If you've seen our Instagram feed, it has nothing to do with having rock hard abs and chiseled body. It has everything to do with how we feel and how we think. I personally have found that for me, if I don't exercise, it has a negative effect on my mental health. And that's similar to the meditation. The way we think about ourselves oftentimes has a positive or negative impact on the way we then put things into our body or how we take care of our body, right? And so when I feel better, I take better care of myself. And so that's part of the reason. And some of our exercise is simply just getting out and going for a 2-mile walk during the day. We aren't always heading to the gym, pumping iron, or running 6 miles or something like that. Sometimes it's just getting out and going for a walk, which does help reduce stress. Stress is one of the biggest things that adds those wrinkles to your face.
Exactly. So we actually wrote an article several years ago about exercise programs for men over 40, because the exercise program for men over 40 is not necessarily the same thing for men in their 20s. Men in their 20s just kind of look great all the time. Those of us who are in
at least it seems that way.
Those of us who are in the dad age of our lives typically have the dad bodies and they function a little bit more like dads. So we have to work out a little bit differently. So we'll include that article in the show notes. So we're going to run through some of the products that we make at home, some of the food that we make at home that keeps us, if not looking better, at least feeling better. And all of these recipes you'll be able to get at debtfreeguys.com/259. We're not going to run through all of the ingredients of all the recipes, just high level. But if you want to get the specific recipes and even adapt them to your own needs, feel free to go to debtfreeguys.com/259 and lift all those recipes for yourself. Caveat here is that we do try to get all these ingredients to be organic, if at all possible, though that's not always the case. And like we said earlier, we try to stick with this as much as possible, but you might see us walking around town with a bottle of Suave moisturizer in our purse. So don't chastise us. We're not hypocrites. We try to stick with this as much as possible.
Right. And remember, the point here is that we wanted to share with you some of the things that we do that help keep our costs down and still allow us to feel like we're doing a good job at taking care of our skin, our body, our hair, all of that, so that we feel like we're living fabulously, not fabulously broke.
How does your bank support the LGBT community? Not at all? For Pride in June? Or 365 days a year? Capital One proudly supports the LGBT community throughout the year. Maybe it's time to support a bank that supports us. Go to debtfreeguys.com/cafe for more info.
So our first one here, and as John mentioned in the outset, this is probably, when it comes to what you put in your body, this is probably the one thing we would say, do this religiously. Every day, John and I get up and we drink a pot of warm lemon water. And just think about it. When you go to sleep at night and you sleep anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, throughout the night, you're starving your body, right? And that means that you're dehydrating it as well. Nothing is going in. So immediately your body, when you wake up in the morning, wants to consume water. But what do most of us do? We get up, we turn on the coffee pot, or we don't even drink anything and we head to the drive-through at Starbucks, and we immediately put into our body something that additionally dehydrates it. So the most important thing here is to start hydrating your body. That really helps your skin. So how do we do this? Well, every morning we have about a liter of water that we warm up. We put half of a lemon, fresh squeezed lemon, into that water. Then we add a few dashes of turmeric. Now, turmeric is the bright yellow spice that goes into making a lot of curries that you see that are really bright yellow. Now, be careful not to spill this on anything because it will stain everything. But turmeric is really powerful because it's known to have curcuminoids compounds in it, which is a natural medicine. It's a natural anti-inflammatory and has been shown to fight certain forms of cancer. As well as the turmeric, we also add cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper boosts your metabolism and lowers your blood pressure, which may not be necessary right away in the morning. Although if you're going to hop on the road and drive to work, you're going to want to keep that blood pressure low, right? And then the final thing that we put in here is grated ginger. Again, known to help fight cancer, lower cholesterol, has medicinal properties. All of this is really designed to kick our day off by filling our body with what it really is asking for. The other nice thing is this helps get your digestive tract going without throwing something really heavy into it.
Exactly. The second recommendation that we have for y'all is it's a breakfast item that we have more often than not, though it seems that we typically have it more frequently in the summer months, and you'll get why here in a moment. But it's our breakfast smoothie. We make a pretty simple breakfast smoothie that includes fresh or frozen berries, a banana, a little bit of pineapple, a spoonful of yogurt, and we'll put a few leaves of kale in there, or if we want, and if we have it. But predominantly with the ingredients we want to make sure that you include in yours are, we put typically a tablespoon of coconut oil. Coconut oil is fabulous, and you'll see that this be an ingredient that we talk about throughout the day. We eat it as well as put it on our body. Coconut is shown to have anti-aging agents that fights inflammation, and it also helps, you'll see here in some of the future ingredients, it helps also fight burns, eczema, and dermatitis. We also, when we have it available to us, we throw in a little bit of flaxseed. Flaxseed is loaded with nutrients, fiber, and high-quality proteins such as omega-3s. It also helps fight cancers.
One of the important things here with flaxseed, though, is remember to either get ground flaxseed or to grind it up yourself. One of the ways you can do that is by cleaning out your coffee grinder, then putting the flaxseed in there and grinding it up. Our bodies cannot naturally break down the flaxseed, so if you eat the whole flaxseed, you're probably going to poop most of it out. not what we necessarily wanted to talk about, but if you're going to pay for it then you want to get the benefits of it.
Exactly. And then we'll typically throw in a quarter cup of wet chia seeds. Chia seeds are also loaded with nutrients, and it's high in bone nutrients such as calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and protein. And it's also high in antioxidants. And it'll typically come dry, but what we'll do is we'll put a quarter cup or so of chia seeds into a cup and then let it soak in a little bit of warm water. And it's the last ingredient we add to our smoothie. What you'll notice is that the dry chia seeds will then become gelatinous, and that helps spread throughout your body a little bit more nicely. And then we also throw in a tablespoon or two of acai berry that has been also shown to be loaded with antioxidants that fight free radicals. And free radicals are what expedites the appearance of aging in your skin. So we love adding that. But it also helps boost brain function. So it makes me smarter, we think. And it could make you smarter too.
All right. So those are two of the inside our bodies. Now let's move to the outside of our bodies. I think this is one of the things that a lot of us, whether you're a man or a woman, gay man, lesbian, anywhere in between, you want to make sure that your body looks good because you're trying to appeal to people, whether it's posting on Instagram or being around your friends or just feeling good about your overall appearance, right? So the next number of recipes that we're going to provide are going to focus on that. The first one is a foot and body scrub. It's important to exfoliate your skin from time to time to unclog pores. And this is a really easy thing to do. Just mixing some coarse sea salt or coarse sugar with some oils, whether it's almond oil, hemp seed oil, or olive oil, and then adding some sort of nice smelling, but also good for you essential oil like a tea tree oil or sandalwood oil. I like both of those, but the nice thing is with the tea tree oil is it's a natural anti-acne treatment. So if you're feeling like you have issues with acne, some of us get that on our back or on our shoulders or on our arms. This is a great way to remove the dead skin, unclog the pores, and help fight the acne.
Exactly. And a good foot and body scrub is a great way to buff your body. And who doesn't want a buffed body? Number 4 is our hand and body oil recipe. This is made with 3 parts of coconut oil. And we've talked about some of the benefits of coconut oil as well. It's made with 1 part hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil fights skin irritations and abrasions similar to the coconut oil, but in a different way. And then likewise, as David said, we throw in 5 or so drops of tea tree oil, about 5 or so drops per 4-ounce mixture from above. So that's kind of the equation you want to use when you're adding your oils.
Yep. Next one is an eye cream. I think is one a lot of us want to do, is to focus on getting rid of those wrinkles underneath the eyes or preventing those. Again, there's some things that you've heard us mention before, the coconut oil. But on this one, we specifically use vitamin E. Vitamin E extract or vitamin E oil is an antioxidant that improves cell structure. So it actually helps build up the cells that are right there underneath your eye or eyelid. If you cannot buy the vitamin E as an oil by itself, you can go buy the capsules from pretty much every local pharmacy shop, right? CVS, Walgreens, all of them, they have the capsules. Then you just poke a hole in the capsule, squeeze that out, and then pop the used capsule in your mouth and swallow it because you get a little bit of the extra vitamin E there as well. And then there's another ingredient that's really good for your skin, that's good for damaged skin as well, and that's rosehip seed oil. That helps plump the skin up. So when you look at this, this is really all about improving the cell structure and replenishing damaged skin. So use this around your eyes, but remember to just dab it lightly underneath the eye. Don't drag it across the eyelid.
And I'll just let you know that popping the vitamin E capsules with a pin is, in a twisted way, somewhat cathartic. Our 6th recommendation here is our face oil. Again, we're using very similar ingredients as above: coconut oil, hemp seed oil, tea tree oil, whatnot. But the one unique ingredient that we like to throw in here when we can is jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is a good natural moisturizer that also has antioxidants, and it promotes collagen synthesis, which is the important ingredient and why we like to use it on our face. This, we also throw in a little bit of vitamin E oil, and for the same reasons, we throw in some rosehip seed oil.
And lastly, for your hair, or what I use it for predominantly, is for your scalp.
Some of us for our scalp.
Yep, exactly. And this is a hair oil. Again, coconut oil, hemp seed oil, and olive oil, 1 part of each of those, and then a couple of drops of either tea tree oil or sandalwood oil. And the nice thing is this is, if you have slightly frizzy hair or hair that tends to dry out, this is a really good thing to put on your hair when you are either sitting around, at the end of the day, or you get up in the morning, you put this on your hair before you plan to take care of the rest of your beauty routine. It does help to give your hair that kind of healthy glow.
And we've been using this particular recipe for 8 to 12 years. I can't exactly remember when we found it and started using it. And it has not yet been shown to regenerate hair. So the great part is that a lot of these recipes are similar. They just have a little minor twist. So what we like to do and the way that we help keep the cost down with these is, like I said, we try to buy them as much of these in organic form as possible. And we can buy these in bulk, typically from Amazon or Costco or Walmart. Buy them in bulk, and then you can kind of stretch them out for the long term, and you get more bang for your buck that way. And then likewise, a lot of these ingredients, if you've noticed, can actually be used with your cooking. So you can really stretch these ingredients to go far and help you save money and in the process, look and feel better. So those are our 7 recommendations. If you have any suggestions on a way to improve our beauty routine or to share with the other listeners, please share that in the Queer Money Facebook group. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk with you next week.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. Capital One's checking and savings accounts have no fees and no minimums. And with one of the best saving rates in America, you can rest easy watching your money grow with no fees to bring you down. You can open an account in about 5 minutes, which means you are only about 5 minutes away from getting your savings to grow with one of the nation's best rates.
Queer Money is being brought to you in part by the 5 building blocks of a happy gay life. Join the growing community of happy, healthy, and wealthy gay men who love their lives inside and out. Get your free copy of the 5 building blocks of a happy gay life at debtfreeguys.com/happy. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Queer Money. Here is your Queer Money takeaway from this episode. If you want to look and feel good inside and out, be aware of what you put on and inside your body. With the recipes that you can find at debtfreeguys.com/259, you can do this without it costing you too much. Again, we make the Queer Money podcast for you, so please post your money questions in the Queer Money Facebook group. We may answer your money question in an upcoming episode. Thank you, and we will talk with you next week.